white gold, black gold. Can you hear me playing the guitar?
Can you see me being absolutely adorable?
You just want to kiss him. Hey, everybody, welcome again. It's Wednesday night, and Are You Shitting Me? TMI, the podcast, is back in your living room live tonight.
Whether you like it or not.
That's right. Sit back and enjoy. Kick your feet up, grab a beer. And I'm Ron here from Las Vegas, Nevada, and always with me I have my brother Mike. Mike hailing from...
I'm his older brother Mike, and I live in Amarillo, Texas.
Amarillo by morning.
Up from San Antonio.
Everything that I've got is
for the
just
clothes that I got on. All right, that's enough of that.
Shut the fuck up.
Exactly. So what's up, man?
Mike and I were talking backstage, and Mike and I have some of our best shows behind the scenes. I just told him we should stop talking before the show because
we waste it all.
We waste all of our good content, and none of you are there.
It all back there.
But so I'm going to implore Mike to please tell the cataract story again because
all right.
Because I was telling Mike, getting old is not for the faint of heart or the weak.
It's not.
Mike and I both feel like we're still in our 40s.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about. Is in my mind, I'm still 40 years old, and it never fails. Something throughout the day or during the day, once or twice or 10 times, will remind me, no, I'm 63 and a little chunky.
Like trying to get into your car?
No, just standing up. And so, and I'll get to the cataract thing, but I was telling Ron that today I was at my desk, and one of the printers that I print onto is around the corner from my office. And so I stood up to go get whatever I printed. And as soon as I did, something went wrong in my left calf. I mean, it was painful. And it reminded me of barking dogs.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And so I told Ron, I said, the first thought in my mind wasn't, oh shit, what was that? It's like, my first thought was, well, I hope nobody can see me walking because now I'm walking like I need a walker. I mean,
like I just shit myself.
It's like the elephant. In fact, like the elephant man just shit himself, and I'm determined. I'm determined to make it to the printer, and so I made it back. And now I'm thinking, I don't know what the hell that was. And even now, my leg is really stiff. It hurts. But so I got that going on for me. But I told Ronnie. It's really kind of funny that my production director, his name is David, and one day last week or so, he comes into my office. He's right across from me, and he says, "Hey, man, are you okay?" And I thought, well, yeah, why? So I don't know if he could hear me in my office, or was it something that I
wheezing?
Was it something I recorded because he plays it back in his office? So can he hear something? But he says, no, it sounds like you're having a hard time breathing. And he says, now David's only like 40-ish. And he says, and it reminded me of when I had my heart attack. And I thought, oh God, okay. And so then he says, well, let me see your fingernails, because my doctor told me that, if you have ridges on your fingernails, it's a sign that you're not getting enough oxygen.
Right.
So I showed him my right hand, but in my mind, I'm thinking, well, what, wrong finger. You don't want to see that finger because that finger has had bumps on it for years.
Yeah.
And it's just that finger, right? So I'm thinking, so now he's freaking because I'm at the age now where I'm going, oh shit. So it's freaking me a little bit, right? So I get home. Now you have to remember Carolyn has now had both her eyes done. She's had cataract surgery, and she can see great. In fact, I was telling Ron, if you have ever seen Raising Hope, there's an episode where Virginia Chance gets new glasses and she can see everything, including dust and stuff floating around in her house. So now she's scrubbing. I come home one night and Carolyn's in our house just going nutty cleaning, right? But anyway, after the David Huber incident, we're lying in bed, we're watching TV, and she's all happy about it. It's so good, I can see TV, don't need glasses. And then she spits out, I can't wait till you get cataract.
Cataracts.
What? It's bad enough Huber thinks I'm going to have a heart attack. Now I come home and you're wishing cataracts on me.
One guy's trying to kill me. My wife's trying to blind me.
Yeah. Here's some aspirin and a white cane. Good luck.
That's right. That's right. Listen for the beeping sound before you cross.
God. But yeah, I can't wait till you get cataracts. Well, gosh, honey,
man.
Thank you.
I used to, my wife Michelle's always worn glasses since I've known her, and I used to always joke with her because she'd wake up in the morning and she'd be on the nightstand like this, trying to find her glasses when she gets up. And then she had LASIK surgery. I'd say it's better part of 7 years ago. It doesn't last forever. It fades after a while because aging process happens over again.
Right.
But now I'm at the age now where I get up and I'm doing this for my glasses because I got a bad case of CSS, which is can't see shit. So I have to have my glasses. It's ridiculous. And like I said, it's not for the weak or the faint of heart, man, because you start losing. Matter of fact, that's how I blew out my knee, Mike, when I had to have my first meniscus surgery. I was squatting down and I went to stand up and turn at the same time, and I heard my knee go boom. And I just right flat face,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's not good. And I had a big tear in my meniscus, and it's not that bad. Meniscus surgery is outpatient stuff, minimal, but
surgery anymore seems to be relatively minimal.
Yeah.
But it's like I told you backstage is I'm 63, I'm a little chunky, but I'm trying to avoid having my knee worked on because I was told years ago that once you get it cut on, you're never going to stop.
And I agree.
So I'm seeking anything. I the dude that I made fun of a couple of months ago, or Mr. Relief guy.
No,
you don't understand. It's gone.
It's gone. It's just gone.
Now
it's not so funny.
So I'm kind of thinking about, dude, can you hook me up with whatever you're taking? I want to be able to tell Carolyn, you don't understand. It's gone.
Yeah, that's too much. But like I always say, we're at that age, Mike, where you have to ask yourself the question: did I hurt myself, or is just how I walk now?
Yeah. Gosh, I hope not, man. If this is how I'm going to walk the rest of my life, I ain't got a cool walk. I got the kind that's going to probably I can walk from here to the radio station, probably make a few bucks on the way over. Oh, look at that. He needs some money.
Pushing a grocery cart.
It's just it. Oh, poor kid. Here you go, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, I think he's in radio. Well, give him twice what you're going to give him.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He's handicapped and in radio.
So,
Lord bless him.
I know we didn't really have a topic to talk about tonight, but I do want to bring up the fact that we just had Mother's Day. So, happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. Glad. Hope you had a good day.
Right.
It brought up a weird thing, and I don't know if we've actually approached this subject. I think you and I have talked about it, but I don't know if we talked about it on air, but I think we did actually. But it's just,
I know where you're going.
It's weird not having a mom. It's weird.
We don't have a mom.
Having a dad. It's weird. Just you're just, it's, how do you explain it? How,
It's
how do you explain it to somebody?
It's wild you brought that up because Carolyn and I talked about that a couple weeks ago, and because we all have the same problem, we don't have parents, and so I even mentioned it on my radio show. I said it's kind of an odd feeling that you just don't have parents.
Yeah.
So who are we wishing Mother's Day and Father's Day to? I wish it to everybody else.
Sure.
I got the double whammy this year because Carolyn's birthday fell on Mother's Day. So I had that going for me.
Yeah. It's like
Like
Ron Jr. was born Father's Day back in 1990.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's, I don't know, it's weird. And I tried to explain it to one of my guys, and because one of my guys, well, Dave is like your age and his mom is still alive. I'm like, what is she, 100? Holy crap.
Right.
Man.
Right. And bless his heart, Steve Mann.
Yeah.
Just
true.
lost his dad. His mom's still around, but and look, I hate it when people pass, especially good people like Mr. Mann. But gosh, I hope I can have a full kind of life that some of these cats that live to 90 plus do.
But you know what, Mike? Mike, we have, if
for a cat that's 63, I've had a pretty blessed life.
You and I can sit back and pull up memories from our mind of things being kids that a lot of people didn't have. So some had more, some had less. But you know what we have is ours. And that's what's important. So when you talk about living a good life and having certain things, I'm going to tell you right now, Mike, I want for nothing when it has to do with my childhood. Was it the best? No, but it was the best for me.
No. It wasn't the best. And I thought about this a number of times. Would I change anything? I don't think so, because it wouldn't have got me to where I am right
today.
And when you think about it, some of the best things we had in our youth, in our childhood, wasn't a store-bought.
We built it.
We built it. So we were those kids. We were still part of the get your ass outside and try to kill yourself generation. And don't go running into the house crying to mom because she's just going to say, great, there's the Mercurochrome, there's the Band-Aid.
Rub some dirt on it, you'll be all right.
Walk it off and get the hell back out there.
Yeah,
those are the kids we were.
What? Buy a go-kart? Yeah, fuck that. I'll just go build one.
It's like, nah.
Matt, cousin Matt, how are you, bud?
You, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know exactly where they are. It's Grandpa and Grandma are right there. So is Aunt Linda. So thank you. We Carolyn and I do try to stop by and see them anytime we're in the Springs. And then we'll walk across the way and go see her family.
Yeah,
they're kind of close together there in that cemetery. Well, I've sure been thinking about the Shoemaker Girls a lot lately.
Right?
I don't know why. Yeah, it's I picture the four of them together.
Yeah,
and I can only imagine what's going on.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, exactly. Shenanigans is a nice way to put it.
So I got a quick story about Aunt Linda. So when Aunt Linda passed, I got to go in the house and I picked something that I wanted of hers, and it's this glass bell with like a Tinker Bell or something on a little person on top, whatever it is. And it's been on my nightstand since she passed, however long that's been. And it's like one of my prized possessions. So we have a housekeeper that comes to our house, and about whenever she comes. So one time after the housekeeper's here, I walked into my bedroom and I looked on the nightstand, and when I say my heart dropped, I wanted to flip and kill somebody because I thought they broke my bell or did, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And no, they just moved it up the nightstand under the dresser. But just
so she wouldn't knock it off and break it.
But in that instance, I mean, if I could explain the rage in that millisecond, I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me?
See, I don't think I have anything from Aunt Linda. I think
Yeah.
I do from Auntie Lane and Aunt Carolyn. I do from Mom. In fact, I have a little something from everybody except for I think Aunt Linda in that cabinet right there
Yeah.
that the on-air light is sitting on.
Because we're live from Las Vegas, Nevada.
That's actually the bookcase that was in the dairy.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of memorabilia in there.
I have a couple of these small, I forget what they call them. They were like wooden coolers. I have 2 of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to bring it back, it's just, not having parents is just a weird thing. So when Mother's Day comes around, Father's Day comes around, then what do you do? Have a cigar?
Carol and I just sit around and we laugh and giggle.
That's
No, we don't. I don't know what we do.
I was going with
it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's all good. And to know our story, and I don't really want to get into it. They're tough holidays for both of us. From both sides of it, Mother's Day and Father's Day. So we just kind of take care of ourselves. And this Sunday, I actually took her out. We had dinner. And it was kind of funny because this has happened twice now. We loved going to a place here in town called Lazy Gator. And the last 2 times we've gone there, we've bumped into our mayor. So he's
nice.
Mayor Stanley and his family were there eating. And I thought, oh, great, they're going to think we're stalking them. But I shared this on the radio. And this is how cool our mayor is. We walk in, and as soon as we walk in, Carol and I like go and sit at the bar because I can watch TV. And so Mayor Stanley waves us over, and we get to his table. I really don't want to interrupt anything because clearly they're having, it's right. A holiday dinner. And but before he even acknowledges or shakes my hand, he reaches out and gives Carolyn a hug and shakes her hand and wishes her a happy Mother's Day.
That's awesome.
And I thought, in that moment, my wife was the most important person in there. And I thought that was outstanding. So that's
just class.
That's you couldn't put it any better, brother. That was absolute class in my book. Yeah. So there you go. What else do we know? I know that I'm in pain. We already shared and by the way, here where it says seriously,
please don't ask.
Pants. FYI,
he's really not.
I've already shown Ron. Kids, I am not wearing any britches.
That's right.
So
it is.
Let your imaginations run wild. Let your imaginations run wild with that one, kids.
If you hear a bell ringing. That's my Prince Albert.
I'm sitting. It won't ring while I'm sitting.
So I have my
look. I mentioned the fact I'm not wearing pants, and people hop off.
What? Well, I have my
when did you become born?
We are.
Yeah, I know you like them Vegas nights.
We are down right now. I think the Oilers are up on us. They're up on us 3-1 right now.
See, so, and that's outstanding.
We're playing in Vegas tonight, so hopefully we can at least get to 2 and 3, and then hopefully tie up the series. Best out of 7, of course.
Yeah. So when did you become a hockey guy? Because we weren't hockey guys when we were kids.
No, I used to. I would watch the Avalanche, back in the day when I moved to Denver, but didn't really become a hockey guy until the Golden Knights came here to Vegas. And
yeah.
It's so funny, man. People were like, "Oh, hockey will never happen. Hockey will never, be popular in Vegas. It's out in the desert. It's a fucking shit show out here. It's nuts. It's nuts."
Yeah. Sorry, I have something dry in my throat.
Well, have some beer.
I may be choking to death. Stand by.
And we're going to record it.
Yeah, it's going to be live on podcasting. Poor Mike.
Next up on How Did Mike Die?
Yeah, at least you guys, live fast, leave a good corpse.
That's right. Leave a pretty corpse.
Of course, at 63, I'm still trying to live fast.
He sure had a pretty mouth.
Hey, so speaking of sports, and I don't want to go on sports here, but
Yeah, you do.
now I did know hockey. I think we've talked about this as well. I had a friend in high school named David Klingbeil.
Mhm.
David's father played professional hockey for the Chicago Blackhawks. The only problem there was you have to go find some old radio recordings because Iker played hockey like in the 40s.
Oh, man.
Yeah, David was an accident child. When we were in high school, his parents were old enough to be our grandparents. I think Ike was like 72 years old. But yeah, look up Iker Klingbeil, and he played for the Chicago Blackhawks.
So I have a buddy of mine here that owns a bar called Hammer's Grill and Bar, and he was a hockey enforcer, if you know what that is, a hockey enforcer for the Peoria Rivermen out of Chicago. So if you ever want to watch some really good hockey fights, look up Bob the Hammer Fleming.
Hockey fights are awesome.
Oh, dude! I went to a hockey fight and a game broke out. That's how it used to be back in the day. I mean, it's not so much that way anymore, but this was back in the day. Watching these guys. Did you look at me and you dropped gloves? I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
And
it's like going to roundy round races, NASCAR or stock car races. You go there. Okay, you might have one or two drivers you cheer, but what you're really wanting is a good crash. Yeah, you just want to see crashes, man. I just want to hear metal on metal.
I remember when you were racing. I remember a couple of pit fights out there at the Colorado Springs International Speedway.
Oh yeah,
those are
either at the track or off the track. Ask Carolyn about that one. I was not a very nice young man in those days.
Well, and that's why people ask about that. They're like, why does your arm say atonement? And that's my answer. I was not always the nice person that you see before you today.
Was not a very good young man.
Let's not poke the bear.
That's just it. And I tell people all the time, they'll say, "Hey, Michael J., how come you don't run for an office?" Well, because I am now 63. I'm still cranky, and I still have the urge to punch people.
And it has the word "run" in it.
And so when you want to drag my name through the mud or accuse me of something stupid,
you're going to punch in the mouth.
I'm going to want to punch you. And so therefore I'm not a good politician. So anyway, real quick about sports. Give me your thoughts on Pete Rose.
I think with all the bullshit that's gone on, Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. So the guy made some bets. The guy did. Look at the bullshit that goes on nowadays. I mean,
thank you very much.
There's no comparison.
No,
via today versus then. That guy, in my opinion, put him in the fucking Hall of Fame.
Yeah. See, for me, Pete Rose was my baseball when I was a kid.
He was baseball when you were a kid.
He was baseball, man. And so I thought about it today, and I just jotted down some names. I don't have them in front of me. But I thought about, when I say the name George Brett, what do you think of? I see a guy running out of a dugout getting pissed off because he's been accused of corking his bat, right? And I mean, Brett went off. But then you think of other names like Nolan Ryan, two of the best baseball fights that I've seen at the pitcher's mound. Both of them involve Nolan Ryan. And then I went the other direction, and I thought, okay, I'm not a basketball guy by any stretch. I don't care, but I hear and read enough about it to know LeBron James. LeBron James.
I'm not a LeBron James fan.
I got a hangnail. I can't play tonight.
Yeah, really? That guy. If there was an Academy Award for sports, he would win. I have never seen a better flop in my entire life.
Right.
I mean, this guy will launch himself 10 feet backwards when you go, it's like, dude, come on. But you know what? I'm glad you said that, because we went to an international rugby match last year, And these dudes are serious, man. I mean, and
Rugby?
you know, like football, hockey, basketball, whatever. You know, they take you off the field and fix you up. No, these motherfuckers are out there with stitching their face shut, and it's like, okay, get back out there and play. You know, and then you got LeBron James flopping all over the place, and then crying like a little baby about, oh, he touched me. Shut up.
Yeah,
You get paid millions of dollars to play a flipping game. Suck it up, Buttercup.
And he's probably going to end up in the Hall of Fame. And, rightfully so, I suppose.
And then when people try to compare him to, he's the best ever to live, you know, okay, well, what about Michael Jordan? What about Kobe Bryant? I mean, there's so
those two.
He's not even, I don't think he's in the top 6. I'll give the guy credit. He's good at what he does. Very talented. But I can almost compare him to, and I hate to say it, I'm going to piss a lot of people off, but he's like the Jerry Rice of basketball.
No doubt. I don't disagree. But that's, and that's where I went with Pete Rose. He bet on baseball. So did Shoeless Joe Jackson. But Shoeless Joe Jackson was way before my time. Pete Rose was my time. And, there's just something about watching him play. And I got to thinking about it. Chipper Jones. Chipper Jones, to me, he went to school in Jacksonville. It's where he went to high school. But everybody knew this guy was going to be something amazing. And I always thought Chipper Jones could be something akin to the next Pete Rose. And he was damn close to it. But then I thought, like Colin Kaepernick, even Cam Newton. I thought,
Cam Newton, Colin Kaepernick. I'm not a huge fan, but he got a raw deal. I mean, that was just a bad rap,
Well, you got what you asked for.
I'm gonna say, but if you're gonna put your foot out there, expect for it to get stepped on. You go. And you can't cry about it later on. The other one that I feel got a bad rap was crap. He was the Broncos quarterback, the religious one.
Tim Tebow.
Yeah. I mean, dude got a bad rap. I mean, he
did. But can I tell you this? I think Tebow, I don't think he, I think he wanted to play pro ball.
I was going to say, I don't think his heart was in it, man.
But I really think he was called, and he's doing what he was called to do.
Amen. No pun intended.
Yeah. I mean, Tim Tebow is doing what Tim Tebow was called to do. Some folks get it. They get into it and they realize this just, I thought I wanted to do this, but this isn't really what I want to do. And sometimes, it's you have to go through that before you finally understand. Yeah, you have to understand this is not where I'm supposed to be.
I think one of my best interviews I ever watched was with Jim Brown. Now, Jim Brown back in the day in football was a monster. I mean, the guy was just a beast. And in this interview, now mind you, this was a long time ago, he says, you know what, I couldn't play in today's NFL because my job was to hurt you,
boom,
and put you out of the game.
That's right. That's what they were meant to do.
And ergo, that is one of the biggest reasons I don't watch a whole lot of NFL football anymore. It is just a bunch of pussyfoot around. You can't touch this person. You can't do that. You breathe on the wrong way. You celebrate in the end zone too long. I'm going to call it a technical foul. It's like, let them play the freaking game.
Yeah. They keep adjusting it to try to – I'm not even sure what the end goal is anymore. I really have no idea.
I don't either. And honestly, I hate to say it, but half the time it looks like it's damn near scripted anyway.
Some believe it is.
Yeah. I'm not that big of a conspiracy theorist, but I've watched enough football in my day that you can look at a player, look at a game, and look at something. It's just like, come on. It's like watching Mike Tyson fight Jake Paul. Come on. Who the fuck believes that?
But we're talking about, okay, Pete Rose. Let's go football. I'm going with, you said one, Jim Brown. I'm with Lyle Alzado.
Lyle Alzado was a beast.
Almost anybody in the 70s on the Raiders. Almost any of them.
Cowboys, Ed Too Tall Jones.
Yeah. There were, these were the kind that, you get out there. I broke my hand.
Yeah. Tony Dorsett.
get back out there and play some more. And in fact, those players would actually, they'd come off, trainers
Tape it
would
up,
look
let
at
me
them,
get out.
and that's exactly it. Dude, just patch me this shit up. I got to get back out there. Today it's oh no, I give you one because people around here really like Dallas. I don't know why. But here's what I tell them all the time. Watch Dak Prescott, and he'll tell you how that game is going to go. He'll tell you whether or not his heart is in the game. Because in the very beginning of the game, if he has a couple of mistakes, you can tell. You just watch his face, watch him on the sidelines.
He's defeated.
And he's done. And I'm thinking, okay, you're making $60 fucking million a year, and this is what you're getting paid for,
right,
dude. I will take $1 million. I'll go out there at 63 and give it my best. They're going to have to stretcher my ass off of there. And you're right.
As long as somebody has beer and a defibrillator, I'm in.
Bring it. I'll have to hobble. I'll use a walker.
That's right. But no, there's. I mean, you can even go back. I mean, we're Broncos fans. I mean, look at some of these players back in the day, like John Lynch. I mean, he was just a monster on the gridiron.
Lynch was scary.
Oh, dude,
Lynch was not just a very big guy, but he was freaking ass scary. And he was one of those that tried to put you out when he hit you.
Oh yeah.
He was the proverbial headhunter. And then on the other side, like let's go Broncos, Eric Decker.
Oh yeah.
I always thought Decker.
Eric Decker was so underrated, man.
Was he not?
Oh my God, that dude was. He's like the John Stockton of football.
Boom. I agree. Decker was badass.
I want to go back to, because I remember. I'm sorry, Mike. I remember Matt. Our cousin Matt Rogers, he was a Steelers fan when we were kids. And I mean, you can go back to some of the Steelers, Franco Harris, his name, drawing a blank, but the quarterback, Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw. Yeah. And Terry Bradshaw was probably one of my favorite quarterbacks back in the day.
People wouldn't be able to tell by looking at him today what he does and how goofy he is.
No.
Terry Bradshaw was a badass quarterback, man.
He was a mechanic.
In fact, if I remember right, single guard on his helmet.
Yes. Yeah. Just the old Kelly helmet with the single guard.
Yep,
yeah.
Single guard.
But I mean, just thinking back to those days now, and look. And Mike, I'm sure you can agree with me on this. I'm not trying to take away anything from today's athletes, because that's exactly what they are athletes. I can't do what they do. But when you grow up watching these guys that we're talking about play and perform, it's like, dude, step up your game.
Oh man, there's a great image. And we've all, if you're old enough, you'll know what I'm talking about. There was a great image of Kansas City Chief quarterback Len Dawson on the sidelines, just beat up, filthy, dirty. And what's he doing?
Smoking a cigarette.
Dude's lighting up a cig, man. He's getting his
I'm surprised he didn't crack open a beer at the same time.
I'm sure some probably did, but I love that image.
Because dude, it was a man's sport back then. It
was. It's like, we're between. We're on defense now. I'm gonna sit here, just have myself a smoke. I'm good to go.
Me a Schlitz malt liquor and a Marlboro.
I'd almost bet you it was filterless.
Oh, probably. If not, he's like.
I'd almost be willing to bet the damn cigarette was filterless.
Oh, we don't need no stinking filters.
Filters? What are you, a wuss?
But I mean, sports it's one of those things you could talk about for a week about different sports and athletes, and like living here in Vegas, especially, we run into a lot of athletes. Like I did, not toot my own horn, but we did some work on the Tyson residents, and you see them around town. I was at Lazy Dogs having lunch with the fam, and Jose Canseco's there with his dog having lunch. And then, Come to find out, we're doing work right across the street from his house, and we're over there like, hey, what's going on? So, I mean, we run into it a lot here.
Is that how Jose talks now? Oh boy,
he
has some brain issues.
Let's not start that conversation because I don't know if he's watching or not.
I don't want him to be tuning in. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, go Jose.
I love Jose.
But yeah, you asked me about hockey, but yeah, they hockey in Vegas has just gone wild between that and the Raiders moving here. Woo! The only good thing about the Raiders moving here is I get to go watch a Broncos game once a year.
Yeah, I was going to say you get to go watch a Broncos game once a year at least.
That's it.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, and the funny thing is, Mike, having the Raiders here because of we are a resort destination, as all of you know. When you go to a Raiders game, there's usually more of the other team fans in the stadiums than there are Raiders fans.
Well, it's close enough to Denver. I can see that.
Yeah, Denver, San Diego.
Look, before Arizona had a team, most people in Arizona cheered for the Broncos.
Yeah.
That's
my other one every year, and I've done this for. If I said 6 years, I wouldn't be lying. But every year, a buddy of mine has season tickets to the Cardinals, and I always use the preseason tickets that they have. $100, 2 tickets and a parking pass. Drive down there, get an Airbnb or whatever, and I've taken a couple of my employees a couple of times. Had been a buddy of mine down there one time. It's fun. As a matter of fact, I know you don't know who Big Ron is, but he's the big dude that works for me. He's like 6'4", 320.
I've done some shirts for Big Ron. So
yes, just a big cat, from Chicago, and so I took him the 1 year that the Bears played the Cardinals in preseason, and I took him down there. He was like a flipping kid at Christmas, man. Good. He's at the rail watching them practice.
Hell yeah, man.
And I'm like, Ron, have you never been to a live football game? No, never have been. I'm like,
it's like I took Daddy to a football game years ago, and God, he was like a kid.
Yeah.
He said, son, this is awesome. I said, well, good. Speaking of Broncos, by the way, oops, I'll pick that up later.
Please don't pick it up now.
Yeah, let me stand up and prove to you that I'm not wearing any pants.
Yeah, please just leave it.
Speaking of the Broncos, we have to wish Catherine Rogers a happy birthday.
Oh, well, happy birthday, Kat.
Got to take care of Kat because her soon-to-be hubby is now employed by the aforementioned Denver Broncos. So I'm expecting a little, little
kickback.
Yeah, hey, this is my Uncle Mike. Whatever.
Do you have to do this when you when you meet anybody? It's my.
That's well, you have to know that code.
Yeah, it's my French flipper trick.
Get in. Huh?
No, nothing. Anyway,
have we gotten off track again? We must be out of beer.
Squirrel.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so we're about 40 minutes in, and we have covered everything from sports and not having parents to Mike not wearing pants. So
only on this podcast will you get that kind of entertainment.
Man, it's just like a crap roll, isn't it?
You never know what you're going to get on this damn thing.
But no, it's it was just one of those things that hit me this week, especially being on Mother's Day, and Michelle was out of town visiting her stepmom, who's unfortunately not doing really well down in Huntington Beach, and it's just a matter of time. That's we talked about it before. That's our conversations now. Who died? What kind of medication you're on? How many milligrams you take, and how many times do you get up and pee in the middle of the night?
Well,
hopefully you get up.
Beer and chocolate milk I drink before I go to bed. I told Carolyn that I've really got to stop chocolate milk at 10 because last night because chocolate milk is hydrating. A lot of people don't realize that, but chocolate milk is hydrating. So I hammered on it last night. Got up every 2 freaking hours overnight. Oh,
Do you guys have a lot of brown cows in Texas?
We do. I have a couple in the backyard, as a matter of fact. Here, Elsie. I need to milk you.
Black chicken, brown cow.
Yeah, brown. And with that, we're going to go ahead and start our exit music.
Here come the men in black. We should talk about that one time, about how music, like I hear this and I hear Men in Black, and I also hear the original.
I've always liked this song.
Here comes the Men in Black.
All right.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week on Wednesday. Hopefully, my brother will take a topic and post some news. So, what we're going to talk about next week.
You can hope all you want. You can hope in one hand and wish in the other.
You can hope on.
Oh, he